I just gave Elsie a bath, so she is nice and clean now, getting ready to leave on our trip in less than 2 weeks now. So it's starting to get really exciting. We're Tim and Diane, and we've decided not to wait until retirement to make our travel dreams come true. We're about to head out on the road for 2 months in our camper van, Elsie, for some adventure with our 2 dogs, Peggy and Ellie. We'll travel down the West Coast and meet up with our friends Eric and Julie for an adventure we call Soar America. So come join us as we travel across the U.S. It is so crazy to think that we will be leaving for our trip in less than 2 weeks. It is getting very exciting, but kind of interesting to think how long we've been actually planning this trip. Tim and I started thinking about getting an RV years ago. I have never been one to enjoy camping at all. I always want a real bed and a bathroom with me. So it was kind of logical when we decided we did like being out in nature, and I really liked running trails with Tim, that it probably was a good idea for us to look at something like an RV. So in June of 2020, we decided to rent an RV. The first thing we did to get ready for van life was just try out a van. So we went on the website Outdoorsy and rented one. We rented a Winnebago Travato just to find out if we liked traveling in a van, if it worked well for the dogs, and if we thought it was something that we would want to do enough to buy one. And we took her out for a weekend. Picked her up in Camano Island, Washington, and went up to Deception Pass and had a really great time. It's such a wonderful way to travel with dogs, and we just really liked it. And that's when we decided that we would like to get an RV. So we started searching for vans, and that's when we found that the one we really liked was the Airstream Interstate. So that's what we went with. We bought a used one. Ours is a 2016. Vans really depreciate. RVs in general do. And so it really makes sense to get a used one. So that's the direction we went. And we've been really happy with it. Then we started just taking little trips in it, just going out for the weekend, just getting to know the van and figuring out what we needed in it, what we didn't need. And I'm sure we still have a lot of learning left to do in that department. We've watched a lot of YouTube videos from other RVers, and that's been really informative to go ahead and try to learn from other people. But I'm sure we have a lot to learn ourselves. Well, the funny thing was, about that same time was when Eric sent an email to Tim that asked, "Have I told you about my dream?" And that was when we found out Eric's big scheme to put together a series of flights across the US. So since then, we started talking about it, eventually decided that it was something we were going to attempt this year. So we have been looking at this trip for almost a year. So it's so exciting that it's almost here. There was a lot of planning that went into it. Once we got the RV, then we began to start what I think is the most fun part, and that is the customizing. So figuring out where you're going to put everything in the van, adding in different hooks and attachments and anything that's going to help you be able to fit everything in your van. It is a small space, so we have to be smart about our space. When we moved from Alabama to Colorado, we downsized. We went from about a 2,400 square foot house to about 1,800. When we moved to an apartment, and that meant going to about 1,000 square feet. So now the idea of moving into a van doesn't seem so difficult. We keep downsizing anyway. So one of the resources that I've used a lot has been YouTube. There are a whole lot of RVers that have YouTube channels, and they provide so much great information. Some of the basics of what it's like to live in a van, how to use the systems in the van, things they've decided that they definitely need in the van, things they don't need. Those have been absolutely wonderful resources. It's also been really neat that Eric and Julie decided to buy pretty much the same van. We got ours just a little bit before they did. Theirs is 2 years newer and a different color, but otherwise pretty much laid out the same. So Julie and I shared a lot of emails between each other of, have you found something that works for this? What are you doing to solve this? So I was able to share with her when I found a bamboo shower mat that fits perfectly in the wet bath. And she was able to share with me the vacuum cleaner that she thought would be perfect for us because it works great for pet hair. So together we've really been able to customize our vans with kind of double the brain power, which has been really nice. Another resource was actually the rental. That really helped because she had an inventory list, and so I could see what she kept in her van and got some ideas like collapsible bowls, great space savers for a van. So the customizing has been a lot of fun, but has taken a lot of time. The next thing you have to do to prepare for a trip like this is actually go out in your van. So we've taken a lot of trips, some just weekends, some longer trips. We actually just got back from a trip to Colorado, so be watching because I'll be posting a couple of videos about that trip. Every time we take the van out, we learn something new. Sometimes it's what does this button do? Sometimes it's what switch controls this light? But every single time we've learned something, and it's been extremely valuable. We have really enjoyed taking the van out. And granted, it's always been short trips, so it's definitely going to be different when we're going out for months at a time rather than just a week or two. But sure, we have plenty more to learn. One thing that we have not done yet is laundry on the road. So that's going to be an interesting challenge, not only finding the laundromat, but then how do you hang up your clothes to dry? So still a lot to learn, and we're looking forward to that too. The logistics have been interesting to figure out. All throughout the process, we have had lots of online meetings of the SOAR America team to work out some of those logistics. When do we want to leave? What are we doing about work? All those different questions that have to be reconciled too. So we're excited. It's going to be challenging, I'm sure, but we've enjoyed the little bit that we've done, and every time we come back from a camping trip, we wish it were longer. So we'll see what happens. We're looking forward to getting to spend some time with some friends while we go out and just enjoy being out on the road. So stay tuned for more as we continue to prep for our 2 months on the road. We are extremely excited about this trip and so excited that you're going to come along with us. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button. It will be over here on this corner. Just click the picture of us and subscribe to our channel so that you can follow us wherever we go. Again, you can also follow us during the SOAR America trip on the SOAR America website. That will be during the month of May and into June. There'll be a map there that shows you where we are, and blog posts and pictures and all kinds of good stuff. That is SOARamerica.wordpress.com. So feel free to join us there as well as on our YouTube channel here. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.